bit about the game today, but what we're going to do is learn a little bit about the characters that are actually coming to the table, and then we'll get into the conversation itself. So when we're going on our schedule, this is what's called session 0. So we're right on time, basically. So these are going to kind of bleed together. What's going to happen is we're going to learn a little bit about our characters. The reason we use a character is to give a little bit of a distance to the problem itself, right? And this is why if you're doing this just with your team, for instance, Megan Mayano of IPH in upstate New York just posted earlier today that she ran a strategic planning game with her team. That's like, 3-5 people just sitting around talking about their real work. They got a good relationship going on. They probably talked about themselves, but sometimes it helps to say, you know what? We're going to have a different nonprofit. So the Adirondack Eco Pause, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Might be hard to read this. I don't need you to go too deep here. This is a mid-sized organization that focuses in on environmental causes. They have a decent amount of assets, so they're not going out of business anytime soon. But let me actually get a little bit more detailed on my end here too. But they have some paid staff, but they're not heavily reliant on government grants or anything like that. They have a decent philanthropic revenue coming in, reaching about 15,000 people through their mailing lists and their email, primarily relying on email, but they do have texting and direct mail. Their database management is mid, as the kids say. Their donor retention is right on par. Kelsey, what is current donor retention rates for the sector? Let's say Q2, Q1, whatever we're allowed to say for FEP. What would we say it's about?
Well, for last year, it was right around 43%.
There you go. They're right in on that at 42%. So they are mid. And so this is a typical organization. Now, even if you're not an environmental organization, folks, does this sound like you or somebody that you've worked with? Would love to hear that in the comments in terms of the resonance of this type of mission. But let's actually go ahead and learn about the people that are connected to this organization. And we're going to start with our lovely staff member. And so that would be the ambassador. Leah, tell us a bit about your character. We have a sheet that I'll reference on the table, but we'll use this to get people acclimated to your lovely character today.
My character, I did not come up with a creative name. I stayed with Leah, so that's my character's name. And this character as a whole, though, does absolutely resonate with me because this was the seat that I occupied with an organization about this size before I went to Better Unite, right before. And frankly, when Better Unite was still a side hustle back in 2017, 2018, I was still working for this organization. So the size is like spot on to what I remember. And my character has just moved to the area from a larger mid-sized city, let's say Austin, and has moved up north into the hills but is a lifelong environmentalist, has always rescued and loved dogs, not so much cats. Sorry, Kelsey, to Otis or Max or whoever that is, but like they're great. I'm sure. I just don't want them in my house. And so I'm a dog person, and so feels like I said, a lifelong commitment to the mission, but is somewhat newer to the area. I wrote down, I think 2 years. So I just made this up. 2 years in the area, 1 year with the nonprofit, came from a bigger space, came from a larger nonprofit that had a heavy event footprint, I'm now making this up, Tim, as I say it, but I was thinking about it earlier.
Leah, you're supposed to make it up.
Here I go. So has wanted for this organization to begin engaging in event-based fundraising because that is something that my character knows well and knows to be able to leverage to both re-engage lapsed or stagnant donors, let's put that word on it, and also to engage new ones. And let's see, what else would I say? I think that's about it, right? Is that a good?
Tell me a bit about what make you walk away from the table if something was proposed. What's going to make you uncomfortable from, like, what's your no compromise line?
So as ambassador, my no compromise line would be, so I have a no compromise and then I have a close second. My no compromise line would be a suggestion of something that I felt really went against the core ethos of the organization. So something that, like, I don't know, maybe doing something not in line with environmental kinds of ideas. And then a close second would be, I wouldn't walk away, but it would make me feel very uncomfortable, would be, well, we've always done it this way, so we're going to stick with this. That would really bother me.
Okay. Very cool. So it's interesting because we did start with the executive director, and many of you're either consultants, you either work directly for nonprofits. And when I originally designed this game, I actually did not design it for you folks. I actually designed it for the donor. And so what kept happening is that people kept saying, but what about my problems? And here's the beauty. Kelsey, is generosity just for donors? Is it just for nonprofit staff? Or do we all kind of live in this larger world of figuring it out and then use that to also, I know it's a leading question, to introduce your character as well in terms of like our donor avatar for today?
We're all connected to it, Tim.
Yeah.
Every single one of us. And I'm also a connector as my role. So this is a good segue. So I had a lot of fun being asked to be the supporter of this imaginary organization because my character is built off of a real life situation that I am in right now with a local nonprofit that I am hopeful I will become more involved in, but I am sort of sitting on the sidelines waiting for them to invite me in. So I also chose to just keep my name. I am playing as myself, Kelsey. I am a early supporter of this nonprofit. I have just moved up to about like a year and a half ago, moved up to the area where this organization is sort of like rooted. And I started following the organization on Instagram because I'm a big hiker. I have a bunch of animals. The mission is like deeply aligned to myself. And as a new member of the community, I've wanted to learn more about the local nonprofits and organizations. I found this organization, started following them on Instagram. And as someone that is involved in the Giving Tuesday movement, is aware of it, I decided to give to this local nonprofit on Giving Tuesday, sort of smaller donation, just an early donation for me, a smaller donation for me, gave to them on Giving Tuesday this past year, and saw that they were hosting a bingo night at my local bar a couple months ago. And so I went, I participated in the bingo. I paid like the minimal fee to enter the event. I think it was maybe $10. I played bingo that night. I had a great night, had so much fun. I didn't meet a single person from the nonprofit organization at the event. I spoke mostly to the woman that runs the bar, so got more connected to the bar than the nonprofit itself.
Interesting.
And I haven't heard anything from them since, and I haven't gotten connected to the organization. I'm actually not even on their email list at this point. I'm only an Instagram follower and single donor. I don't get regular emails from them. And so I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to be engaged in this organization more holistically. So that is me as my role. And I chose the connector because that is also very true, I think, to myself as a person. I love connecting people. My role as director of partnerships, that should not be surprising to anyone as well, that I love connecting people. But I think I have a lot of like potential people and organizations up here where I live that I could connect this organization to.
Yeah.
And I'm also sort of waiting in the wings to connect the other parts of my life to this organization. So I am the connector.
So what would you say is like a line that you don't want to cross during this conversation?
Oh, we don't. Yeah, we're actually not looking for any like additional people. We're good. We've got our network. That sort of thing would really turn me off. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Little bit of distance is not actually a good thing. And so imagine kind of the scenario, Leah, where you've kind of maybe even the bar, right? If we could even take that example that Kelsey actually gave, right? Maybe the bar person was like, hey, I actually think you should go connect with this person. So imagine you're sitting
Bless
down for
them.
coffee and we're just trying to hash out, like, how can we better connect with people after events, right? Like I heard, we can do better on that. So it's a bit of a feedback session. That's the scenario here.
Okay.
So are we good? Are we ready to have our Generosity Roundtable discussion?
Does any of the audience members have any questions about
Yeah,
our
do they have any questions? And also, let me explain how the audience will be involved. So what we're going to do is actually, as I'm waiting for those, oh, I didn't mean to take you two off. I meant to take the other things off. Let me do that. No, that's not good. Okay, so let's take this down. We're going to take this down.